If it was my babies, I'd want somebody looking.
Now at 6, new information on children from a girls' summer camp in Texas amid deadly flooding.
It's really kind of sad that it's ending because it's going to mean the end to a lot of green energy jobs.
Electric vehicle tax credits are coming to an end. Experts weigh in on the impacts. Plus, the repairs made to Crystal Pier as it reopens today.
I've been shot, I've been stabbed. Excuse me.
How a former police officer and the former homeless man he arrested became the best of friends.
You're watching CBS 8 Mornings at 6.
Good morning to you. Welcome to your Monday. Glad to be back in the saddle here. 6 a.m. I'm Eric Connor.
And I'm Netta Iranpour. Yeah, good to have you back, Eric. Of course, it's summer. A lot of people going on vacations to San Diego. That was a big one we saw over the weekend. But wow, I'm glad we had the best weather we could ask for.
Nice vacation heat we've had.
Yeah, I feel like it was the reminder to everyone else in other parts of the country that we're kind of always like this.
It's so nice.
This is summer for us.
Yeah.
And it is going to stick. There's no change in the forecast that shows any drop in temperatures. I will say one downside is that there's not a drop in temperatures, but there is a big climb in temperatures that we'll be watching for. So by the time we get to the middle and end of the week, those temperatures that you see inland in the 80s are going to be moving into the 90s. Out along the coast will be in the mid 70s. But for this afternoon, it is a comfortable day. Partly cloudy skies expected. Here's a live look outside facing west toward the coast. Sunrise came at 5:47. Still holding on to some of those clouds. They should be breaking apart pretty quickly and then moving toward that 8 p.m. sunset. Back to you.
Evan, thank you very much. And now, new this morning, a tragic update here. The all-girls Camp Mystic has now confirmed 27 campers and counselors have died amid this catastrophic flash flooding in Texas. A total of 82 people are dead.
According to National Weather Service data, extreme rainfall caused the Guadalupe River to swell more than 20 feet in less than an hour early Friday. CBS 8's Regina Yarita is here now with more on the search and rescue operations and what the president is saying about this. Regina?
Yeah, well, guys, the president posted on Truth Social saying he signed a major disaster declaration to ensure the first responders immediately have the resources that they need. But right now, as you mentioned, at least 82 people are dead and nearly 41 more are missing after these devastating flash floods slammed parts of central Texas. Water rescues have taken place along the Guadalupe River, which rose rapidly to the height of a 2-story building on Friday. Now, these images are alarming. They're heartbreaking. I want you to take a look. You can see dark water has covered most of the central Texas areas. Homes have been destroyed. There's damages to vehicles and debris scattered in different parts. According to officials, there were about 700 children at that all-girls camp called Camp Mystic when the floods hit Kerr County. But as we just mentioned, the camp is now grieving the loss of 27 kids and counselors. Officials say there have been more than 160 rescues by helicopter. Search and rescue teams and hundreds of volunteers are combing the banks of the Guadalupe River. But President Donald Trump, now that he has approved a major disaster declaration, he has plans to visit Texas this week. Yesterday, he pushed back on claims that cuts to the National Weather Service may have impacted the situation.
They did not. They did. This is a 100-year catastrophe, and it's just so horrible to watch.
And so President Trump is expected to make his visit on Friday. Meanwhile, the National Weather Service says Central Texas is still under threat of more flash flooding as slow-moving thunderstorms travel through the area this week. Guys.
All right, Regina, thank you very much. New this morning, 3 people are dead and at least 10 others are hurt in Philadelphia following what police are calling a mass shooting.
Yeah, police say the shooting happened around 1 a.m. Eastern time. At least 2 minors were hurt. This shooting comes less than 24 hours after a separate shooting just blocks away left 8 people hurt outside of a Philadelphia nightclub. Back here at home, Larry Miliete, the Chula Vista man accused of killing his wife Maya, will be back in court today. He will appear for a readiness conference this afternoon. His trial was originally set to start today, but has been delayed to January of 2026. Larry was arrested in October of 2021 for the murder of his wife Maya Miliete. She has been missing since January of 2021, and her body has not been found.
This morning, a man is in custody accused of attacking his brother with a samurai sword in Oceanside. This happened yesterday morning on Arthur Avenue. Police say the victim has serious injuries, but is expected to recover. Officers went to the suspect's home and tried to get him out for hours. A SWAT team was called and the suspect surrendered a short time later. He's now been identified as 30-year-old Esteban Rivas. This morning, police are looking for a pair of thieves caught on camera breaking into a Scripps Ranch restaurant. You see this surveillance video here. It shows two people forcing their way into Yanni's Bar and Grill. This is on Scripps Highlands Drive about 3 yesterday morning. The burglars stole about $3,300. The business says police responded quickly and nobody was hurt. They're now warning other local businesses to stay vigilant.
We have cameras everywhere. As a detractor, we have alarm system, and we thought a false security that this is enough, but this was not, obviously.
Oh, that's too bad. A big loss to a local business. He says they will start taking extra precautions there at Yanni's.
Tensions high in University Heights as protesters say Vice President J.D. Vance dined at a sushi restaurant. Video recorded by witnesses showing the crowd booing the motorcade on its way out yesterday afternoon. The motorcade was escorted out of the neighborhood alongside several police officers. Second Lady Usha Vance is from San Diego, and the vice president was in town this weekend to receive an award from the Claremont Institute, a conservative think tank, at an event which seats started at $2,500 each. Well, the iconic Crystal Pier in Pacific Beach is finally going to be reopening here today.
Yeah, this closed in the winter of 2023. Such a nice iconic spot, right? The storms and the rough ocean hit this nearly 100-year-old structure, causing damage then. CBS 8's Chris Groh live in Pacific Beach to tell us about the extensive repairs that the pier has undergone. Chris, good morning.
A lot of work to get this icon here in San Diego. Of course, been here for more than 100 years. Back up and running, but also safe for those who love to frequent this. This is a big spot, not just for tourists, but also for locals and those who love to fish and so forth. And so this is the area that is under city control. So a lot of people that come out here to Crystal Pier, they'll see that hotel that is there. You'll see iconic, the cars parked on the pier. This is for that part that extends even further west beyond that. This is city-owned part of the pier that is now going to be reopened, that closed after those rough storms back in 2023. So repairs started the very next month, January of 24. They replaced dozens of broken and damaged what are called wood braces that help support the pier's substructure. That all ended in May. But then what happened is that they had more surf, stronger storms, and about 8 of the pier piles were damaged. So they had a second emergency phase that then started later that year and eventually all ended in the spring of this year. And then from there, they went on to do some non-emergency repairs. They reinforced some remaining braces, try to make sure that, again, everything is sound structurally for the public areas. Again, this is all focusing on this story today about the city and publicly open areas. Anything for the hotel, the portion that they own, those repairs are left up to the hotel owners. But all in all, this is costing somewhere in the ballpark of about $2 million, these repairs. Now, we do know that the city did dedicate a portion of SeaWorld settlement money to some of these repairs as well, too. So that'll help in the long run. But the big news today, of course, is that this iconic pier, this huge part of San Diego history, reopening here today while we're still in the midst of summer. Eric and Netta.
All right, good timing for that here. We're approaching just kind of that middle of summer here, and the heat certainly feels that way.
Yeah, especially everywhere east of the coast.
Yeah.
That's where we're really going to be feeling it and where those temperatures are going to keep climbing day over day. We've got a lot of sunshine expected by this afternoon, but as we kick off the morning, that marine layer is very dense out there. We can see from our coastal communities out to our inland valleys that marine layer is present. It will become less active for the mornings to come, a more thin marine layer, meaning that ideally earlier on in the morning, we'll be transitioning toward more and more of that sunshine. This ridge of high pressure growing overhead, allowing for this daily temperature warm up from today through about the middle of the week. Wednesday and Thursday, 2 days where we'll be seeing some low 90s in the forecast across many of our valley floors. Even our western valleys could be in the low 90s for Wednesday and Thursday, and then a subsequent drop in temperatures that'll take us back to a more normal range by the time we get to the end of the week and the weekend. Take a look out across the country, how that ridge is affecting areas like Arizona. We've got Phoenix going for 106 this afternoon, El Paso 96, even some triple-digit temperatures out as far east as Jackson, 102 today. DC still struggling through the heat at 92, and then we here in San Diego get to enjoy coastal temperatures in the 70s, but don't be too confused by that. You know what it's like as you make your way east of the coast. Once you make your way over the 805, over the 15, you start to see those 80s and 90s prevail. Even today, Ramona, for example, could make it to that 90 marker. Out the door right now, though, pretty mild, mostly 50s and 60s. Ramona right now is at 56 degrees. Mira Mesa at 62, Del Mar at 63, and downtown San Diego just a hair warmer at about 65 degrees. Overnight lows not moving around too much, mainly hanging on to mid-60s as we head through the next couple days. And then we'll be seeing that even along the coast, those temperatures make their way to a bit of warmer territory, but still only stay in the mid-70s compared to a lot of those valleys that will be closer to the 90s and above. Let's take a look at traffic, see how your roads are faring as we start off the day. Right now, we're seeing that it is pretty quiet. We have one crash to take you to, though, one stalled vehicle specifically. The fast lane is actually blocked with the stalled vehicle on the 15 southbound. This is from the El Cajon Boulevard exit. So because this is the fast lane that's blocked there, you want to take some extra caution as you make your way on the 15 southbound. Right now, it's not causing any major backups in either direction on the 15. You can see how it's green across both sides of it. So you should be able to head out at your normal speeds across most of our other roadways, not seeing any major crashes according to CHP. Let's check in on your border wait times, where it is a 75-minute wait at the San Ysidro Port of Entry. Otay Mesa Port of Entry is going to run you about 50 minutes. Should be able to get across about 25 minutes faster there.